Hi, I'm Sandra Hawkins and I want to show you how to use printf to format as an alternative to println, and it can be used to round off numbers as well. So what I have here is I have three variables declared: quantity, which is an int, price, which is a double, and item, which is a string. And I'm using printout at the minute with println. With println, I have a string and I have to end that string to add in my item in there, and start the string again and end it to add in quantity and so on. So you can see the output from the bottom there. So item, bread, this is variable item. Quantity, 9 comes from a variable. Price, 149 comes from a variable. And the total I have put in here at the end as quantity multiplied by price. So what I want to show you is an alternative to using println. So and an S out. So I have my println, but I'm going to take the ln off and put in printf. Just to note there as well, because the ln has been removed, you won't get a new line at the end of this. So what you'd need to do in your string is put in a \n. I'm just going to add in a little reminder for me to do that. So this is just the next line that's been printed out there. So printf. So what I need in here, so I'm going to have the same string. So item, colon. And now I want my bread to appear in there. So what we have to put in is a percentage. When you're using printf, you have percentages to specify where the argument or where your variable is going to be substituted in. And I'm going to have item is a string. So because it's a string, the conversion or type character I need to put in here is S for a string. So now I'm going to carry on my string. Next I want the quantity. I have colon, and my quantity is going to be substituted in here. So I have to have the percentage when you're using printf, and quantity is an int, and the specifier or data type character for an int is D. And now I'm going to carry on here with my price. I'm going to put a colon, input a euro symbol, and my price I want to appear in here. I have to put in the percentage. Price is a double, and the character specifier for a double is F, and that covers floating points, so floats and doubles. And just back there for D, that would cover a byte, short, car, and an int. And one more here, so price, comma, and then total, colon, euro symbol. And I'm putting in quantity multiplied by price, which is a double, and that will be %F as well. Now, because I have one string instead of all this stopping and starting in the println, because I have 4 percentages in here, I have to have 4 arguments, one for each of those percentages after the string. So it's comma. My first percentage, %S, is my item. So this could be a literal typed in here, but I'm using a variable. Then a comma. The second percentage is D. %D, that is my int, which is quantity. So quantity appears here. My third, go on quantity, my third percentage is my price. So price. And finally, the fourth percentage is my total. So I could have put in a variable beforehand, but you can of course put in a little operation or a little equation here, quantity by price. Now to execute that. So now, a couple of things here to note. So firstly, what I wanted to show you there, the next line is not on the next line. So print does not put in a new line after the output. If you want to put in a new line, you can put in a \n inside the double quotes on the next print line, or you can include it at the end of your printf. I usually put it in at the end of the printf. Just to run that again. There we go, all is good. Now, on the %f, so my percentage f's, my floating points, my double or my float, it will produce 6 decimal places there. So what you need to do to bring it back to 2 is put in a 0.2f. So it'll round up or down accordingly if it needs to, and it will only display 2 decimal places. So anywhere I have a double or floating point, put in 0.2f. Now, so that is a very quick introduction to printf. It can do there are other characters and specifiers that you can put in. So the only one we've seen is S, D, and F, for that's the type, the character to represent the type for a string, an int, and a floating point. Also, you can put in other what they're called flags, like a minus to left justify a plus to include a plus symbol, and so on. So it is worth looking into that a little bit more. But I'm just keeping this simple. So that's printf. It's an alternative to println, but it is very good there for rounding off and displaying just 2 decimal places if that's what you need to do.